Welcome on Darasa Online, dear students. This is Mr. Novatus Gabriel Moyo, a chemistry teacher. Today I will be presenting to you a topic known as hydrogen, and specifically I will base on the subtopic known as preparation and the properties of hydrogen. You are most welcome. Preparation and the properties of hydrogen. This will be the topic for us to discuss today. Now, let us start our topic by having a concept on hydrogen. Dear student, hydrogen is the lightest and it's the lightest and the most abundant hydrogen is the lightest and the most abundant element in the universe. So, dear student, you should be aware of that hydrogen is the lightest and the most abundant element in the universe. Dear student, hydrogen is said to be less denser than air, or hydrogen is lighter than air. So, hydrogen is found higher in the atmosphere. It is found higher in the atmosphere because it is lighter than air. Also, dear student, hydrogen is said to be a very reactive element. It is a very reactive element. That's why it is forming different compounds. It is forming different compounds. Example, hydrogen reacts with oxygen to form water. Hydrogen reacts with the oxygen to form water. You know, students, hydrogen reacts explosively with the air, but hydrogen also reacts with the oxygen to form water. So, hydrogen react with the oxygen to form a compound known as water. Also, hydrogen reacts with carbon to form different organic compounds. Hydrogen reacts with carbon to form different organic substances. So hydrogen reacts with the carbon to form different organic substances. Example, let's have an example. Hydrogen reacts with carbon to form coal, but also to form petrol. Those are some of the organic compounds which can be formed due to the reaction between hydrogen and carbon. Now, hydrogen can be prepared in the laboratory in different methods. Some of the methods used to prepare hydrogen are as follows. We can have different methods of preparing hydrogen in the laboratory. One of them is the reaction between moderately reactive metals with dilute acids. So, reaction between moderately reactive metals such as zinc with dilute acids. That can be one of the methods of preparing hydrogen in the laboratory. The other method can be reaction of water, dear students, reaction of water with the metals. So hydrogen also can be prepared by the reaction of water with the metals. But we also have the other method that hydrogen can be prepared by reaction of water with hot carbon. This is the other method of preparing hydrogen in the laboratory. We also have the other one that we can also prepare hydrogen in the laboratory by electrolysis of water. So those are some of the 4 methods that can be used to prepare hydrogen within the laboratory. Now, dear students, let us now see the common method used in preparing hydrogen in the laboratory. The common method of preparing hydrogen is the reaction between moderately reactive metals with dilute acids. The reaction between moderately reactive metals, the reaction between moderately reactive metals such as zinc, iron. You can also give the other one, I think you remember. So the reaction between moderately reactive metals with dilute acids. Dilute acids, examples of the dilute acids can be sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acids. These are some of the dilute acids that can be used. This kind of a method is actually very much preferred to be used in the laboratory because it is a safer method and it is the cheap method of preparing hydrogen in the laboratory. So, but specifically, most of the scientists do prefer to use the reaction between zinc and dilute acids. So, the most preferred, the most used method is the reaction between zinc and dilute hydrochloric acid. I will tell you why. Zinc and dilute hydrochloric acid. Dear students, most of the scientists do prefer to use this kind of a method because zinc, I said zinc, but specifically it is zinc granulase. Zinc granulase. Zinc granulase, which is impure, is said to contain some catalysts. It contains some catalysts such as arsenic. So these catalysts do speed up the chemical reaction between zinc and hydrochloric acid to produce hydrogen gas. That's why zinc is mostly referred. And dear student, not zinc as a solid, it's zinc granulase. Zinc granulase. So different small pieces of zinc, small particles of zinc are the ones that do react with the dilute hydrochloric acid. So just be aware of this. Now, let us go specifically on preparation of hydrogen by using zinc and the dilute hydrochloric acid. hydrogen gas in the laboratory. Zinc granulars. Preparation of hydrogen gas in the laboratory by using zinc granulars and hydrochloric acid. Dear students, if you want to prepare hydrogen in the laboratory by using zinc granulars with hydrochloric acid, you need to set up your experiment. Now, you should set up an experiment. Now you need to have the apparatus. The apparatus to be used in this kind of an experiment. One of the apparatus used in this kind of an experiment is you should have a gas jar. Gas jar. You should have a thistle funnel. You should also have a round bottomed flask. You should also have a retort stand. You should also have a delivery tube. You should also have a trough. You should also have a beehive shelf. Beehive shelf. Beehive shelf. Should also have beehive shelf. Now, if you have these apparatus, you also need to have your chemicals to be used. Now, let's now see the chemicals to be used. Dear student, you need to have water. You also need to have zinc granulars. You also need to have hydrochloric acid. Now, these are the chemicals to be used. These are the apparatus to be used. You can add some more apparatuses if I've forgotten some. Yes, you can add some more, such as a rubber band with the two holes, so it should be there to prevent the gas from escaping. Now, after having your chemicals and apparatus, it's now where you can perform your experiment. Now, dear students, let us go and see how we can prepare hydrogen in the laboratory. This is the setup experiment on how to prepare hydrogen in the laboratory, dear students. You can now see you have your retort stand. This one here, it has a clamp to adjust different sizes depending on your desired height you want. You have this flask here. It is called round bottomed flask. This one here, you can see it. You also have the rubber band with the two holes, one hole with the thistle funnel and the other one with a delivery tube. You also have a delivery tube and you have a thistle funnel. You also have a trough. This one here. You also have a gas jar. This one here. It is an inverted gas jar. Now, zinc pieces are put within the round bottomed flask. Hydrochloric acid is added into the round bottomed flask. The reaction now occurs between zinc pieces and the dilute hydrochloric acid, whereby hydrogen is produced and taken to the trough and then into the beehive shelf, and then it goes to the bottom of the gas jar ready to be collected. Now, hydrogen is collected over water. You can see hydrogen is at the upper of the gas jar and we have water at the lower part. Now, hydrogen is collected over water. The reason behind is that hydrogen is slightly soluble in water. The other reason is that hydrogen is less denser than water. That's why it's collected over water. Now, dear student, I hope you have now understood on how to set up this experiment and on how hydrogen can be produced in the laboratory. Let us now write a chemical equation between dilute hydrochloric acid and the zinc pieces so as to get hydrogen. Now, a chemical reaction showing the reaction between hydrochloric acid and the zinc granules. Now it's hydrochloric acid reacts with the zinc, produce zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. This is the product that we have been talking about. So this is the reaction between hydrochloric acid and the zinc to produce hydrogen gas and the zinc chloride. Now, dear student, I hope that you are now in the position of writing this complete reaction between this moderate reactive metal, zinc, with the dilute acid known as hydrochloric acid. But dear student, you should not claim that the acid to be used is only hydrochloric acid. No, you can use the other one such as a dilute acid known as sulfuric acid. So now this is the method of preparing and this is the reaction, and we have discussed something on correction of hydrogen. Correction of hydrogen. I said hydrogen can be corrected over water. Hydrogen can be corrected over water, and the reasons were because it is slightly soluble in water, and the other one, it is less denser than water. But dear student, if hydrogen is required dry, if hydrogen is required dry. If hydrogen is required dry, it should be passed If hydrogen is required dry, it should be passed to the drying agents such as calcium chloride. And concentrated sulfuric acid. So if hydrogen gas is required dry in the laboratory, it should be passed on calcium chloride and a concentrated sulfuric acid. These are the main drying agent in the laboratory. And if it is passed through these drying agents and corrected dry, it can also be corrected by upward delivery. So it will be corrected in this way. This is your gas jar. This is the delivery tube. So it will be corrected by upward delivery. The reason behind it is because it is less denser than air. Or we say that it will be corrected by downward displacement of air. We say that it will be corrected by downward displacement of air. Now with that class, let us now try to discuss something on the physical properties of hydrogen. Physical properties of hydrogen. Hydrogen does not support combustion. Hydrogen does not support combustion. So, dear students should know that hydrogen does not support combustion. Instead, it is burnt. It is burnt with the oxygen, but it doesn't support combustion at all. The other physical property is that hydrogen is slightly soluble in water. Hydrogen is slightly soluble in water. That's why it is corrected over water. That's why it is corrected over water. But also, hydrogen is less denser than air. Hydrogen is less denser than air, so it is found higher, and the air is found lower, is found below hydrogen, because hydrogen has low density compared to air. It is also less denser than water. I said that before, should remember. Also, hydrogen is a colorless gas. It is a colorless gas. Hydrogen is a colorless gas, meaning that it has no color. Also, hydrogen is tasteless. Also, hydrogen is odorless. This is the other physical property of hydrogen. Now, dear students, there are some more physical properties of hydrogen you can add. But the last one, I just add for you, hydrogen is neutral to litmus paper. Hydrogen is neutral to litmus paper. Hydrogen is neutral to litmus paper. Now you go and find some more physical properties of hydrogen. You should add some more physical properties. Those are some that I've given you. Now let us see the test for hydrogen. Test for hydrogen. When a lighted splint is inserted in a gas jar containing hydrogen, if you take a lighted splint and insert it in a gas jar containing hydrogen, it will burn explosively, and it will burn by producing a pop sound. To be burned by producing a pop sound. So pop, pop. That is the test for hydrogen in the laboratory. Now, dear students, that being the case, let us now go and see some questions on this subtopic. We have question number 1 here. Question number 1 says, name 2 reagents which are normally used in a laboratory to prepare hydrogen from a metal and an acid. Write a word equation for the reaction. Name 2 reagents which are normally used in a laboratory to prepare hydrogen from a metal and an acid. Now, we have question number 1. Question number 1. The reagents are hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid. These can be the 2 reagents, and dear students, you are required to write a word equation. Now, let us write a word equation for the reaction. It will be hydrochloric acid with a moderate metal, which can be zinc, can be zinc, you will get zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. This is how you can respond to such kind of a question. Now let us see question number 2. Question number 2 says, a student reacted hydrochloric acid with iron fillings. In this reaction, a gas was evolved. A. What was the gas that evolved? Write down a word equation for representing this reaction. Now, question number 2. You are required to write a gas that was evolved. That gas between hydrochloric acid and the iron filling was hydrogen gas. It was hydrogen gas. And you are required to write a word equation representing this reaction. That iron fillings reacts with hydrochloric acid you get iron chloride and hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas. So this is the gas that was produced. We go now and see the other question. Question number 3. A student wanted to prepare hydrogen in a laboratory using a moderately reactive metal and a dilute acid. Suggests 5 apparatuses that could be used by the student. Now, dear student, here you are required to suggest some of the apparatuses used in preparing of hydrogen. You remember I listed some, such as beehive shape, flat-bottomed flask, delivery tube, gas jar. You can now list some more. I hope that you can. Now you can list other apparatuses. Let us now go and see question number 4. Question number 4 says, gas W was prepared by reacting zinc metal with dilute sulfuric acid. When gas W was burnt in air, a colorless liquid X was produced. Identify substance W and the X. Suggest 4 physical properties of the gas W. Which method can be used to collect the gas W and give 2 reasons? This gas was prepared by reacting zinc metal with sulfuric acid. Now, zinc is a moderately reactive metal. Dilute sulfuric acid, when it reacts with the zinc, we get hydrogen. So, identify substance W and X. Substance W was hydrogen gas. But what is X? When gas W was burnt in air, a colorless liquid X was produced. Now, a colorless liquid was water. Suggest 4 physical properties of W. You are required to suggest the physical properties of hydrogen. Now you can just give them. Less denser than air, slightly soluble in water. You add some more. I think you can. Which method can be used to collect the gas W? Give 2 reasons. The method is that gas W can be collected over water. The reasons are 1, because it is less denser than water, because it is slightly soluble in water. Let us now see question number 5. Why zinc granules are better choice than sodium and copper for reacting with an acid to give hydrogen. You see this kind of a question? Why is zinc granulates a better choice than sodium and copper for reacting with an acid to give hydrogen? Now, dear student, you should have a concept on sodium, zinc, and copper. Dear student, you should remember that sodium is the most reactive metal, while copper is less reactive. So when zinc is reacting with an acid, zinc is capable of replacing the hydrogen on the acid. But when copper reacts with an acid, copper is less reactive than hydrogen. So copper will not replace hydrogen. That reaction will not take place. But on the other one, why is sodium not preferred? So please, you go and find that. But I just give you a hint that when sodium is reacted with hydrogen, sodium explodes in the air, and it combines with the water vapor in the atmosphere, and it forms metallic oxide, a basic oxide, and therefore you will not get hydrogen that you want. So you go and find more answers on this. It's a very good question, I think. Question number 6. Why is hydrogen gas kept in an inverted gas jar? Why is hydrogen kept in an inverted gas jar? Briefly explain. You see, you are asked, why is hydrogen kept in an inverted gas jar? You should explain briefly. This is also one of the good questions. You should go and perform this question. I give you this as an assignment. Question number 7 says, a student was provided with the following reagents to prepare hydrogen gas in a school laboratory: pure zinc, concentrated hydrochloric acid, granulated zinc, dilute hydrochloric acid, and a concentrated nitric acid. A. Suggest with the reason a suitable set of reagents which the student should use to prepare hydrogen gas. That is A. B. Which combination of reagents is not safe for the student to use? Briefly explain your answer. Let us see question number 7C. Suggest a suitable word equation for the preparation of the gas. D. What safety precautions would you advise the student to observe during this experiment? Now, dear students, let us start discussing this kind of a question. And I hope you can see the way the question is. A. Suggest with the reason a suitable set of reagents which the student should use to prepare hydrogen gas. Dear students, the suitable set of reagents would be granulated zinc and dilute hydrochloric acid. The reason behind is granulated zinc contains some impurities such as arsenic, which catalyze the reaction or which speeds up the rate of reaction of this kind of a reaction. Now, granulated zinc with dilute hydrochloric acid is much more preferred because it leads to the required amount of hydrogen gas. So these are the suitable set of reagents. B. Which combination of reagents is not safe for the student to use? Briefly explain your answer. Briefly explain your answer. Dear students, you can see here there are some concentrated acids. You have concentrated hydrochloric acid. You also have concentrated nitric acids. Most of these acids are corrosive and the others are strong oxidizing agents. Therefore, when handling these kind of acids, one should be very much careful, because they can either corrode your skin, or they can either oxidize and lead to unrequired answers. Therefore, the combination of reagents which is not safe for the student were like pure zinc with concentrated hydrochloric acid. This combination wasn't safe. Or you use pure zinc with the concentrated nitric acid. That couldn't be much more safe. Therefore, those are some of the reagents that were supposed not to be used by the students. Let us go and see question number 7C. Suggest a suitable word equation for the preparation of the gas. So dear students, I hope that you can try to respond on this. The suitable word equation for zinc granulase with dilute hydrochloric acid is that when zinc reacts with the dilute hydrochloric acid, you get zinc chloride with hydrogen gas. That's how we can write such kind of a question. So I just give you a homework. You should write this kind of a word equation. You should write this word equation and write it very correctly. D. What safety precautions would you advise the student to observe during this experiment? Dear students, you remember that we have seen that there were some concentrated acids on the setup. Now, you are also required to advise this student who is doing such kind of an experiment. I hope that you are aware of the precautions to be taken during this experiment. Now, you should give the safety precautions that you would advise the student to observe during this experiment. I also give you this as a homework. I hope that you can perform. You know the precautions. Now, you should respond on question number 7D as a homework. Let us see some references to pass through, which will help you also to get some more answers on the questions that I've asked. Reference number 1. It is Chemistry for Secondary Schools, Form 1 and 2, 2012, Oxford University Press, Tanzania Limited. That is the first reference. You should also go to Holderness A and Lambert, 1969, a new certificate chemistry, 4th edition, Heinemann education book. This is also a very nice reference. You can pass through it. We also have Lion L 2016 Chemistry for You, 5th edition, Oxford University Press. You should go also and pass through this. So with those references, you can get more knowledge on hydrogen, preparation of hydrogen, and the physical properties of hydrogen. Now with that class, we have covered a lot on concerning hydrogen, specifically on the preparation and the properties of hydrogen. Now I think you are in a position of preparing hydrogen samples in the laboratory. You are in a position of setting an experiment on the preparation of hydrogen. You are now able to prepare hydrogen by using different moderate reactive methods with dilute acids so as to get hydrogen. And you are now in a position to give different physical properties of hydrogen. And you can also test hydrogen in the laboratory. With that, I thank you very much. Keep on watching Darasa Online. Thank you very much.